What? I'll allow it. Okay, we should be good to go.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the Corcoran Party Council meeting of October 21st. Roll call, Sharon Meister.
Stevie Taylor. Val Lytle. Tom Anderson.
All rise to the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any additions to tonight's agenda? No?
I don't remember if it's fall, but the trees over at the wildflower park. Did you talk about that?
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be under new business or whatever you want to put it.
Okay, so C under new business,
Perfect.
new trees at wildflower.
We're just discussing.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes from way back in July. It's been a number. Any questions or clarifications on the minutes from July 16th?
Chair, I will note, I did have a typo in there. Even Microsoft Word did not catch it. Under 10C, under park dedication, it says updates tot A. I have since adjusted that. It just didn't make its way into your packet. Apparently they are both words.
Okay, anything else?
Almost as good as minutes.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Open forum.
And at this point, if anyone on Zoom or anyone in the audience has anything they'd like to add, you can use your raise hand feature on Zoom. Otherwise, you can raise your hand here as well. Looks like we're good.
Okay. Presentations. None? Okay. Unfinished business. City Park Project Public Input Discussion.
Is there a reason we're revisiting this? I mean, if we did it, we have the public input. We have a lot of good ideas from the public, and now we kind of design some things to what we did it for. Was there questions from the public that didn't like it or other input?
Not necessarily. When Brad and I had discussed it a little bit recently, we kind of looked at it and we went, okay, it's been 3 years now, maybe going back, circling back, making sure that everyone's kind of on the same page, especially, I guess, from my perspective with the whole Diamond Lake Regional Trail. I know that had gone back to council and there was some discussion about, was there enough public input? This could be another situation where maybe getting more is just a better option. I don't think it'll necessarily change a whole lot, but at least making sure we're on the right path. And then I have word that some of the people on the Zoom meeting can't quite hear you guys, so just make sure that those microphones are pointed in your direction. Hopefully that helps. Brad, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I think that's really what it came down to, specifically related to the decision to delay the grant application. So this fall, every fall, there's an opportunity to apply for the Hennepin County Youth Sports Grant application, the big one, for up to $300,000. And just where the park dedication fund was at, as well as the amount of projects taking place, it just felt premature. The first phase is what, 2 million or so, or thereabouts.
1.8.
And 8. And, just another year to get some funds up there. So if we were doing that, why not use that as another opportunity to get some more feedback? We're adding about, 750 residents a year at this point. So even 3 years ago, that's a lot of people that, was involved with the process. So perhaps getting some buy-in as well. We had some good experiences this last year with input. Diamond Lake Regional Trail Corridor, kind of those sticky notes, people would comment on it as they went, and think back on more road improvement projects. So I don't really think it has to be even substantial, but another round of feedback. You kick it off with a newsletter, hey, this has been processed. The goal is to do phase 1. We're looking for final feedback. And I think we're waiting a year, why not get some more information? So Jessica doesn't have much to do anyways.
I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch. As you guys can see in your packet, we had ideas of doing an online survey or a website. Citywide newsletter would be the kickoff, getting the link out there so that people can fill it out. Maybe an in-person event, similar to, I guess my best comparison is when you guys did the playground build, having in the lobby and maybe in here, as that's kind of the only indoor gathering space. And then if you guys have any other suggestions on how to get involvement, I'm definitely open to it. I have a listserv that I can email, Corcoran residents who were interested in getting more updates about Park and Rec items. They sign up when they register. I make that one of the questions. So I can send it to them. Corcoran specific, don't worry, I won't send it to Maple Grove or Plymouth. So, but if you guys have any other options, don't feel like you have to answer on the spot. You guys know how to get a hold of me. So.
What would you prefer? What seems to have worked best for you?
I'd like to do them all, quite honestly. I'd like to do an in-person and an online, just so that we are hitting that entire audience, because I don't think it's entirely fair or equitable to strictly do online or strictly do in person. There are people who aren't going to want to be in person because of COVID or otherwise, and there's people who don't know how to use the online services. So I think trying to hit everyone is going to be our best bet. And I don't think we need a motion or anything, just kind of a general consensus of, yeah. Go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah. Our rules just went up.
Okay. So this is another thing that is making its way back to you years later. It has gone through you guys twice, 2 meetings, once in 2019, once in 2020. During these meetings, you guys all had opinions. I took them, brought them back, revamped everything. They've also gone through the Development Review Committee. And it's an internal staff meeting involving various departments, PD, Public Works, everyone, just to make sure we're all on the same page and everything fits what all the departments have in mind. And then I also sent them over to our attorney. So he has seen them, looked them over, gave them the go ahead. With that, I'm bringing it back to you one more time so that you guys can look it through. I know Phil or Commissioner Christensen had some wording requests that he had made back in 2020. I didn't hear anything from him, so I think that we're good as far as wording goes. Like I said, it went through the attorney, so hopefully everyone's good with it. If you see anything that's missing or you want added or adjusted, let me know. But otherwise, these would be the new ordinances, and then it would just need a recommendation for council approval. So the big changes are alcoholic beverage consumptions in the park, no tobacco, and no golf. Which, by the way, I found even more golf balls this summer. So if anyone's looking for golf balls.
So if somebody is, sorry, somebody is sleeping at the pavilion and you bring a jar of people, is that any violation?
Because of the glass jar. But
It's an education thing. I guess I look back, I did security at the state park in New Ulm. customers and same rules, right? So it's just more about, hey, just so you know, have these rules here. You know, you put that away so it doesn't break, and next time don't do it. So I mean that's it's, we want education, in all these rules.
I don't foresee the police department going out and writing citations over a jar of pickles, but
Pickles come only in class jars, because the vinegar and plastic don't get melted. Why do you
Is-
know that?
The transition to relish, I guess.
Would anyone like to make a motion to accept the adjustments?
Absolutely, I would move to.
All those in favor?
Right.
and I would like to also note, these are not necessarily the ones that are going on the signs. That will be a later discussion, but just so we're all on the same page.
Some of these are so specific. For tobacco products, tobacco products are made in the history of the world.
Kind of, I mean, I read it, I'm like, I don't know what
I
happened.
don't know what's in our either.
I took a lot of them from other cities, and if they had everything listed, I was like, well, there's probably a reason they listed every single one.
Under new business, fee schedule exemption rules.
This is the Jessica show tonight. So I was going through this year and I had a couple of organizations reach out that were previously listed by you guys as fee exemption groups. This is before my time, so I could be totally misunderstanding some of it. And if I am, please feel free to correct me. I listed the ones that were on my list from 2017. And it was the JCs, the Lions, the Pioneer Society. The Lions was not very specific, so it could have been any Lions as far as I was aware. Seniors, again, not very specific. Athletic associations, still not very specific. Is it Corcoran? Is it Plymouth? Northwest Trails, Corcoran Garden Club, and Corcoran Bee Club. With this, if you guys want all of those to stay on there, great. I would just like it to be a little more specific so that I know, you know, are you allowing the Hamel Lions to use it? What does that look like? Are there other groups you'd like on here? And then also in your packet, you'll find that there's a letter from St. John's. They are a Lutheran school located off of, what is that? 101. So Kyle Peterman, their athletic director, reaches out to me every year to use the park, essentially. He brings extra garbages. He goes around, circles the entire place afterwards to make sure there's not trash everywhere. He is super good about it. It's honestly, he loves using the facility. They don't really have a place of their own at the school, from what I understand. So, and he's also been very open to having a discussion about joining up and allowing us to use their gymnasium for Park and Rec if that was allowed through the school. We haven't gotten very far with planning it because even though Brad thinks I'm not very busy, I am. So it is something that I'd like to look into eventually, but he had requested to make it easier so that he doesn't have to go through council or you guys every year to hopefully get on the list. So that was the other addition. Yep. Yep, it's once a year. It's a cross-country meet once a year in September, and they use it for 5 hours on a Friday, I think. So it's just to make it easier for that one-time use, but I don't have to do like an exemption through council with a staff report.
No, yeah, I was thinking that Corcoran had to go and do all the maintenance afterwards. It doesn't sound like that happens at all. They would take care of it.
The only impact it has is one field mark or 2 field mark lines on it. And I mark the fields all season anyways, so it doesn't kill the grass. We know that. But otherwise, if the list of groups looks good to you guys, that's the other thing. I did make some of them more specific, and I removed seniors and athletic associations just because we don't have any athletic associations at this point, unless you guys want to allow outside of the city. And then seniors, I'm fine with having seniors if you guys are, but I just figured maybe have a more specific genre to that. 55 plus, I don't know.
Yeah, because the athletic association was the Corcoran Association.
Well, then there was the Corcoran Soccer Association as well. So I assumed it was both of those, but like I said, just something more specific so that I know.
No, totally agree. And what about seniors? Is it some, is there some, I mean, what if there's a court senior group that wants to? I don't know.
You know,
Well, this
I don't know if
isn't-
that happens or not.
It's not an end all be all if someone did come and say, hey, I'd like to use it free of charge. I mean, we can definitely bring it back to you. It just has to have enough time to go through you guys and then council approval as well. If we leave seniors on there, it's still super vague. And then on my end, I'm going, I don't know what you guys want to allow. So as far as I'm concerned, if they're going to have an event there, they're probably planning it out far enough, hopefully. But
You know, if it's a Corcoran, I think this list is great. I think it's, you know, specific enough that you can administratively say, yep, you're on the list, or no, you're not. And if they're not on the list and they think they should be, there's a way to go around it. And, you know, I don't think we want to deal with every old guy who wants to.
No,
who wants to
well, I
go out
think
and
it's
say, I don't think I have to
more
say it.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what, you know.
So just seniors, if there was a seniors organization, Corcoran seniors that want to do something, we could talk about it. But if they want to play, if seniors want to have a seniors baseball league, chances are they should pay the rent fields.
They can still do it, go for it.
I'm going to have you guys pull the microphones even a little closer. Sorry.
We keep moving.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to accept the fee schedule with membership groups?
I'll move.
The second,
Second.
all those in favor?
All right.
Okay. Preliminary plat of variance application for South Farms.
Okay. So, and I'm using the wrong computer. This is where it's, well, this is the property map, I guess, not really the location. This is a preliminary plat and variance for a 12-lot subdivision. It's zoned rural residential. They've got 12 building rights. The lots range from 5.1 to 21.5 acres. You can see it is located, I grabbed the right mouse. I don't think I can even point it out. You can see the arrow though. So kind of northwest Corcoran. You can see the two areas there. On the Parks and Trails plan map, there's a proposed off-road trail located in the northwest area of the site, and that'll be shown later in a map. It's also in your packets. There is an existing trail easement. It's kind of along that west side. It's very thin and skinny. The credit was given for a full easement, but no net acreage. It's right outside of the floodplain and wetland. And it was deeded to the city through Bechtold Family Acres. This is a totally separate thing that's already been established. We already have that easement. So it's not feasible for future off-road trail, and they wouldn't be looking for perk dedication for that part. This is a map of the entire plat. So on that very far west side is where the easement exists. And then we can look at this. So park dedication is required at 4% of the net pre-development area for 11 lots. 3.45 net acres or $50,908 cash in lieu of land would be the cost for either end. The proposed trail easement that goes from the cul-de-sac, and there's going to be a map on the next slide, so that'll help when I'm explaining all of this, but the proposed trail easement from the cul-de-sac is 0.27 gross acres. It's partially located in the floodplain, and the net acreage is about 0.11 acres, so not super big. And it provides 3.19% of that 3.45 acres. And again, you guys can do a mix of the acres and the cash in lieu of land. And then there's also another, this part was not included in your packet. This was a discussion that happened this afternoon, but a proposed trail easement right outside of the floodplain line. That net acreage is going to be 0.4 acres. There'll be a 20-foot wide easement just along, and there's a map, don't worry. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a sec, but it provides 11.59% of that 3.45 acres. So it would be a total between those two easements of 14.78%, which comes to about $7,524.20 of that $50,908. The remainder would be cash in lieu of land of that $43,383.80. This is a nice color-coded map that should help a little bit. That far west side, that orange strip, if you can see it, that is the pre-existing easement. So that just as like a reference. Yep, I can't really. Yep. The mouse won't show up on the screen. Otherwise, I'd try and help you guys out. But and then that dashed blue line.
Duplicate screens, it will. Go to display settings. What is that one? Sorry.
I don't think so. Huh? Yeah, no, it won't let me. Can I go in here?
There you go. Now you can mouse show up on.
I think I unplugged the mouse.
I saw it.
Oh, did you? There we go. Okay, so this is the pre-existing easement, this orange piece right here. And then this dashed line is the adjusted proposed easement. So it would come from the cul-de-sac down and then go west. This pink line is the creek. This green area is the 100-year floodplain. And then this next slide will make more sense on the part that's not in your packet. So this is the 0.4 acres, that second trail easement that I was kind of mentioning. It's this orange part right along here, kind of that crisscross section. That would be about 0.4 acres. I think it was $7,000 essentially equivalency. So like I said, the proposed trail easement from the cul-de-sac, it reduces the number of creek crossings, hence the adjustment from what the developer had proposed. And it would be about $1,623.96 in dedicated park land credit. And then that second one, that orange crisscross that I just showed you guys, that would be the 20-foot trail easement. And that would be approximately 0.4 acres for the 20-foot wide easement, $5,900.24 in dedicated park land credit. So staff is looking for a recommendation to take our recommendation, take the two proposed trail easements as recommended, and then take the remainder of park dedication to be cash in lieu of land at that $43,000 approximately. Any questions? I can go back to maps. I kind of flew through it. Do we want this map or this map? They're not quite the same because this one is the one that was in the packet and this is the one that came in later. So this is the second easement that's not in your packet. This is that 20-foot wide one.
So that's not even on the other one?
Correct. No. So it's like, if you can see my mouse, it's kind of right along here, but just not shown.
And that was what, upland?
Yes, that is upland.
Okay.
So from here over is upland, which was established later. Hence why it didn't make its way in.
That one, looks like that. And where would we connect?
So the trail would kind of go from here.
Can you put back that per parts and trails now?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So lines up all the,
I don't think the Parks and Trails map is in here, so give me 1 second to pull it up.
Well, I was looking at these from my piece of it. As I was looking at this stuff, and I remember, talking with, working with Mary Nicole on that. I was facilitating where we got these, what particular needed time, as I remember, was that she really was looking at minimizing. She would like, she wanted us to have the land rather than have the application fees. And I thought we were pretty clever. As we look at it now, if the new more sophistication, we wouldn't ever put a trail along where the easement is. On the trees out.
Right in the wrong spot.
No.
Okay.
So,
Oh, right here.
yeah, that's right.
So the cul-de-sac would be here-ish, and then it would connect over into that easement. Over. But it just gives more options for crossing into that next area.
Because, as I was thinking about this, we're trying to, as development comes, set aside the easements that then we can string together to create a trail. When I look at what Three Rivers did with their plan on the Diamond Lake Trail, we're doing it sort of backwards. They went into enough detail so that they know where they want to go. The comment from staff about making sure we don't cross the creek too many times. Well, absolutely, I mean, that makes sense. For our trip planning, it makes sense from a price standpoint, it makes perfect sense. But how can we do that when we're doing it one development piece at a time? So it feels like we don't have quite the right leverage or quite the right perspective for doing this in a really, what's going to be a really coherent plan. The easement that is presented, the developing easement, because it is at least a spot on the trail, makes much more sense than the easement which is in the floodplain. Actually, would never very unlikely to put it as a trail. So this, I think that we absolutely should take that easements. I think at this point it's the best we can do on this parcel. I think it certainly is a challenge for the city to look at that whole trail and say, how can we get this firmed up enough so that as development comes in, we can make some sense of it. I mean, part of that creek edge is already developed, lots of people live, and then we've got a problem with people saying, I really don't want a trail outside that bedroom window, and who can blame them? But in areas that have not been developed, then we've got a trail that's to your amenity, but the housing and the design is designed to take that into response. Does that make sense to do this? Not in particular. That's, we get that order done fixed. Eliminate the design of all the trails right now, and then have those kind of in the back pocket. That's part of the problem. I know, I think this. Yeah. Well, it is at the edge of the wetland, but that's, if we're gonna have a park along the creek, we don't want to build it in wetland. And we could be very, I think we legally could, but it's kind of about maintain. And so we wanted at the edge of that wetland. And so, so that's, we're getting this is the perfect thing for that problem. I think it's exactly what.
Any other comments or discussion? Val or Judy?
Nothing that I can think of right now.
How about Sharon? You have a
Okay, no,
comment?
I agree with the latest option is our best.
And I also think it's a good idea to have a trail easement to go from the end of that cul-de-sac to a trail. Then folks who buy in that area should know that people can ride their bicycles up their street to the cul-de-sac and then go over to the trail through, avoiding a problem later on.
Okay, so Would you like, you want a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to make a motion?
I would
Commissioner?
make the motion on the latest proposal as modified by Jessica this afternoon.
Jessica, Kendra, Brad.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you
I
got
can-
the credit.
Meeting of the minds.
I can put it back up for you guys too.
Okay.
Oh, maybe. There we go.
There.
Mhm.
All of that?
All of that.
All of that. Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. Nice last minute work there.
We should.
Pretty easy, huh?
Suppose we could have asked if he wanted to add anything.
I talked to him before the meeting.
Okay.
He was fine with our recommendation.
And Donovan said thank you. He's with the developers, I think.
All right. New business, new trees at Wildflower Park.
I don't know about new trees. Somebody had said that, and I have not been over there, but the trees are not making it.
Oh,
Do we know?
I do not.
Does anybody?
No, I mean, for the developer's been supposed to have replaced them for the past year and a half. Tom, have you seen anything in the last week or so? You've been out of town. I
I've been out of
suppose.
town last week, but prior to that, no, I hadn't.
I emailed our construction review people when you brought it up. I haven't got anything back, but I was told 2 weeks ago they were being replaced that week. And it continues to
what
not get.
Kind are they and how big are they? Do we know?
Were those hackberry? That was one of them, I think.
Well, Tom would know better than
I
I.
always look at you for trees. Sorry.
It was
it'd be a cool tree.
hackberry, yeah, was it hackberry? I mean, I like, if it is hackberry, that's great. Hackberries are, it's
No, these were these coffee
coffee,
Oh,
ones.
Kentucky coffee tree, also a wonderful tree.
For our area?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
But we had
Um,
an incredible drought this year too.
Right.
Yeah, we've got some, I know of several in our church yard, which
Mhm.
it's just they're not very well maintained and they're doing wonderfully. They're a little funny looking the first couple of years. They look like sticks with some little leaf growth on them, not
Mhm.
much. But they're really very nice tree, as I understand it. They should probably need a little bit of pruning the first couple of years by a trained arborist. That isn't me, but they're good trees.
Okay.
I think our last communication, if I recall, was the developer was looking to replace with something different. And we reviewed and said, I think that'd be fine, but let's make sure we get some of these coffee trees somewhere in the park.
Yeah.
So we'll have to follow up tomorrow on that.
I mean, even if, maples or something that grow easily around here and have nice color in the fall or
Yeah, here we are.
type of thing. I don't.
I can drive through
Yeah,
there
they-
tomorrow and take a look too and see if the trees look healthy. I was gonna check on the.
Might be
porta
kinda
potties,
tough
but
this time of
Picked up
year.
anyways.
okay.
Yeah.
Big exciting things.
Yeah.
Lennar talked about that they'd recommend a maple or an elm.
Oh, we had the choice between
Yeah,
the
yeah.
two.
And I think we talked about getting diversity of having both versus the one. So we,
Yeah.
well, we have the correspondence from back and forth. It's been very frustrating. I can't tell you how long we've been demanding replant these trees for. It's
Oh.
been well over a year.
Okay.
Well, and then a lot of times it's the way they're planted.
Yeah, yeah.
Too deep.
Too deep.
Yeah. So,
They want to change it up to the maple. I mean, because maples grow pretty darn well,
right. And they transplant well. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
So. and if
let's
you wanna
hope they follow
switch it
through.
up.
Yeah, and the new elms transplant well, grow well. They also need some pruning early in life to make sure they grow correctly, but they're good trees.
Tom,
Did you hear from people that live there, Val?
Yeah, and I don't know who, I don't have a name, but. yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
and like I said, I
hopefully-
have not been over there,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Maybe a question for Tom, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm upset and this needs to be like something gets done before I'm gone. What's your take on time of year, can we still plant right now?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
How late? Kinda.
until the ground freezes.
Really?
All right.
And they'll
Thank
be
you.
okay?
Mhm.
They're dormant, they're going dormant right
Yeah.
now. So they'll wake up in the spring and they won't know that they're in. a
They won't
new-
know what happened.
That they're in a new neighborhood. Yeah, it's fine.
We will, I can tell you what, we'll ensure they are planted right now this fall, or else I'm ready to pull the letter of credit and just plant them ourselves. This has been incredibly. I'm angry about it.
Okay,
Okay,
well, thank you.
all right. Active planning applications. Any clarifications,
Am I out of order?
comments? Everybody good?
Was there much changes on the sign ordinances? Anybody? I mean, it just,
Changes from,
well, it just said it was updated, I think. Reviewed by the city, meeting expected to be adapted in September.
we had the discussion at a council meeting and then it's been kind of kicked back and coming back up next week. Okay, next Thursday, with a few changes from the previous version that was discussed at mixing up my council meetings.
That's okay.
A couple meetings ago, I believe.
Yeah, construction signs, I think was the primary driver
Yep.
Of this conversation. So the developers around town have just, well, tons of signs, and it was brought up by the council that we want to get on hold of this. So that was one update, and then there's been a little back and forth on what we should allow for campaign signs. There's a little not a unanimous view of the council on what we should allow for campaign signs, so.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, anything else? Great. Recreation coordinator update.
Carrying on my show. So things I've been working on, feel like you've seen most of this throughout the entire summer, and it's been now 3 months.
It's a good
and
picture, by the way.
Yeah, it's cute.
Very cute.
It's from fall baseball.
Aw.
Even though now it's still fall and now it's really cold. So baseball was a big thing. Started, actually, I think registration, started baseball, continued baseball, wrapped up baseball, all since we've met last.
Wow.
So had pretty good turnout, more than previous years. And people seem to enjoy it. Everyone seemed to have a good time. The weather held out pretty much for the most part. I think I only had 1 or 2 rainouts, so that was good. Parks and Trails packet, yours truly. Night to Night happened. We did it a little different this time around. We did the 2 brigades, and I think it went really well. I don't know that it's something we'll continue super heavy next year. I think it would be more of a 1 brigade and kind of hit as many as we can, or maybe split it up. It just won't be as big just because we don't have the manpower to do it if we're doing a city party too. So that's kind of in discussion. Country days happen. I'm sure you guys are all well aware of that. I ran a beanbag tournament. It went really well. People seem to enjoy themselves. I got good feedback on a survey that I put out. The JCs did an amazing job as always, or the Country Days Committee, I guess.
Wow.
Social media, I'm still posting all of the social media. So if you have anything that you feel is missing or you want to see more of, let me know. Field and pavilion reservations, that just wrapped up a couple weeks ago. So we're not accepting any more of those. I'm getting them all scanned in so that we have them on file, but we got more than any other year. So that was kind of exciting. I think a big part of that is COVID, just because people are trying to gather outside. So we'll see how next year goes, but I think it's nice because people are now realizing that we do have a pavilion and it's hosts 100 people. We've got charcoal grills. While there's no running water, I mean, people still love it. And it worked out really well for a lot of these groups. So that was exciting to see. Soccer, since we met last, it just wrapped up. Got pretty good feedback from the survey that I did for that as well. People seem to have a good time. I got enough coaches. It was a good time. It was
a lot of fun.
And then my most exciting thing that I get to tell you guys about that I don't think is in the packet. We got another $10,000 grant.
Awesome.
So Hennepin County Youth Sports, we brought it to council to go for a lawnmower this fall because I had reached out a few times to Hennepin County and I was like, hey, did we get the spring one? Never heard anything. So I was like, well, I guess we didn't, which is fine. And then I got an email last week while I was at the conference that we did in fact get it and they wanted me to sign it. And I clicked on a really shady link and Brad was not super happy. But
I'm a lawyer.
I told him $10,000, the computer.
away now.
So we got the $10,000 grant for the lawnmower. So now circling back to council next week and it'll be in their packet. Here, Mickey. We're going for a gator for out at the park for recreation, and then it would also be used for trail maintenance. It would serve a lot of purposes, so that's the plan at this point, going for $10,000 for that. And then the rest of it would come from the CIP upon talking to Public Works. So we've now got $20,000 for new lawnmowers, so that's kind of exciting.
There you go. That's very exciting.
Wow.
Good job.
And do you go to all these events, Jessica, and like every night? Are you out there
Out there.
with,
Soccer?
yeah, soccer and baseball?
Baseball is pretty self-sufficient. Soccer, seeing as it's such a large program, I do try and be out there. Just because I am certified in first aid, CPR, and AED. So if something does happen, there was one child that did get a concussion, so I was glad that I was out there. But I think I only missed 2 nights
Wow.
this summer. And then our public works director also drove by one time and said, wow, I didn't realize how many people are out there. And I said, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, it's a lot of fun to watch it kind of all unfold. So if you guys ever want to see me in my happiest place, that's it.
Hey,
That's awesome.
It's a
That's,
prideful moment.
that's fabulous. Okay, then. Nice job, Jessica.
Yes.
City council report.
Alrighty. There's a lot that's happened since last meeting that you guys had. I figured I'd kind of highlight a couple of the bigger items, and then if you guys have any questions, hopefully between myself, Brad, and Councilor Varenkamp, we can answer them. Back in July, we approved Amberley and Bellwether, which is kind of a continuation of the Bellwether development, obviously, and an adjacent Pulte development. Three Rivers Park District, we approved the preferred alignment that they're talking about. Obviously, it's a long-term plan, but they're seem to be making progress on that. I haven't heard kind of where that is actually in post going to the cities where they are with that, but hopefully there'll be more news somewhat soon. Cook Lake Highlands was approved back in August, early August there, with kind of a revised plan. Obviously that had come to you guys at least twice, I think, and planning a few times and as well as council. Big one, NTIA broadband partnership grant application we applied for in August, and that is for a $5.2 million grant to basically run fiber optic cable throughout the city to bring high-speed internet access to, I think it's estimated at about 500 homes right now that don't have any high-speed internet access. And that's would be, if we received that grant, it would also come with a $1.5-ish million investment from Comcast to install the fiber and the whole network. And we should find out about that on November 15th, I believe, if we received the grant or not.
Question.
And yeah,
Would that be kind of just the Musa area or
the whole city.
like out by my house? Wow.
Way out there.
It would be a big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
That's
I'm
exciting.
anxious for it. Hopefully we hear good news.
Wow.
About a month, a little less. But we will certainly keep you posted as soon as we do hear something. Let's see here, a couple smaller things. Obviously we have a new city council member after council member Thomas resigned about a month prior to that, and we're excited to have Dean on the council. And he took his oath of office in September, the first meeting in September. We had a couple ongoing road improvement projects on Corcoran Trail and Appaloosa Woods, we just had the assessment hearings for, and they're moving along. We also had a petition to have their road paved on Park Trail Road, just kind of south of here, on the opposite, on the 116 side kind of Ravinia, where it punches out to 116 there. And let's see here. I think that's most of the big items, but if you guys have any questions, we have a planning commission appointment that will be made next meeting. I think we have 6 candidates. And we'll be going through that over the next week and making the appointment at the 28th, October 28th meeting. And then, I don't know if Brad, you have anything you wanted to add?
If you want, I can talk later on to other business, maybe if that's okay.
Yep. Other than that, if there's any questions?
Corcoran Wells municipal water. Progress on that?
We have, the council has a big meeting, actually work session next Thursday, to continue water supply planning, so. And also including in the packet a proceeding forward with another test well contingent upon the Bellwether Amberley development moving forward. So we would put another potential well in that development too. So that's continuing about as fast as it possibly can, actually. So there's a lot of information you'll see if you get the council packets next Thursday for the work session.
I should know this, but Corcoran Trail? Where is that?
Next to the park.
Yeah, it's kind of on the, would it be south west of the park a little bit, or depending on where in the park you are?
Just straight. So if you go on 50.
It's
past the
across
park,
from the horse,
Okay.
It's just past.
from Harvest Hill Horse Barn,
You should go
Okay.
where that
it's
horse,
the horseshoe one.
you go on
Gotcha.
one street and you come up the other.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that one really odd street where the back 2/3 are paved, but the front
Uh-huh.
portion is
Is
not.
gravel.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not my
I did that.
Go through
territory.
gravel to get to a
Yeah.
paved
Yeah.
section, so.
Interesting. Okay.
It really looks fancy. When you drive by now.
Does now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Guard Club report, Tom Anderson.
Actually, I've been replaced. Yolanda Tillmans is going to be the new garden club chair.
Welcome.
She just has more energy for it.
That's legit.
Yeah, she's, and I think we're gonna refocus. I think, there are just a few of us at this point, but we are going to, the goal is to reach out to Bellwether and Ravinia and a lot of the folks who are houses on smaller lots and with maybe no gardening space, say, come garden with us at City Hall. Rather than trying to do anything fancier than that, just a chance for you to get your clippers and your spade and come out and trim some shrubs and dig some plants. And, the garden club doesn't have to be huge. It'd be nice to have more than 4 or 5. It'd be nice to have 10,
Mhm.
and then we could do a little better job of maintaining. Actually, the garden out back, considering the kind of summer it was, has done just really amazingly well. I don't think anything died from lack of water, even though it's because God loves us. I don't, it just, it was kind of
You watered
neglected
it,
there for a
so.
while. But a few of us made trips over and gave it some water, and so it's looked pretty good. Needs trim.
Well, and I noticed people want to have their pictures taken back there. Was that on
It was on the
yeah.
cost sheet that some people,
That's from
Photography.
2017.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was our new garden.
We removed that, I think, in either 2019 or 2020 because people weren't
Oh,
signing
okay.
up for it anyways. I think it was
Okay,
like a
darn.
permit, if I remember right. And
Okay.
upon talking to Michelle, she had been the one to handle it prior, and she was like, we haven't had anyone
Oh,
do this for a while.
okay. I thought
It's
with
a
the new
park.
garden and the gazebo and everything, it would be like photo
It's
op.
it's sort of a big business over at Millennial Park over in Plymouth.
Mm,
Big bucks
yeah,
to do that, but that's a different,
Right,
completely different.
it'll happen.
I actually spoke with the woman who runs that program over there and she sent over their stuff when this was kind of still a thing. And then we dissolved it. So I was like, well, okay.
Mhm.
Right,
Come take pictures.
yeah. Okay. Park dedication fund.
So you'll notice it went up almost $500,000 since you've last seen it. Things are getting put into the system more now that we have two finance folks, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
One was MI and the other one was Lennar Tavera, not Ravinia. So we're up to 1.3.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
You know, speaking of that, I did make a call to City Hall about my dust control payment, which I thought I had made, and and now I've forgotten the person that I talked to, but it was somebody that I didn't know, which was, and she was really extremely patient. I was, boy, it was a real senior moment for me. I had confused the payment I didn't make this year for the payment I did make last year. It shows you how many checks I write that I could go back a whole year. So she was very understanding and we got it straightened around and then I paid it. Yeah.
Probably Shauna. Be happy to know that thus far in the budget, the mayor and council have eliminated billing for that for next year,
Wow.
dust control, so.
So it's just gonna go into the general budget of overall for everyone.
Yep.
I think. Okay.
All right.
Right.
One less phone call.
Okay. Other business or announcements? Anyone?
The only additional thing we have is there are no planning items for November that are coming down the pipeline. So we were in discussion. It falls right between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. It's that middle week. So if you guys wanted to cancel, that would be your call. And then you don't have 5 days notice, you have a month.
And where does our December one fall? Just a curiosity. Not that quick.
It would be the 16th. So the week
Oh, that would be
before
good then.
Christmas.
Yeah, that would
that'll
work out.
Yeah.
You're good? Okay.
Mhm.
We don't need a motion. or anything, do we? Not needing.
No, just if you
Okay.
guys are okay with canceling November,
Yep.
I'll send out an email still, just so that the other commissioners know as well.
Okay.
And you had something else.
Just might take this moment if that's okay, Madam Chair.
Yes.
As I mentioned, I
must.
emailed out earlier this week. I'll be leaving the city of Corcoran at the end of November, take on a new role. And I think, as you know, this has been a high passion area for me, the Parks and Recreation side of the world. That's my undergraduate degree, and I spent 6 years in the parks field. And it's just fun stuff that helps build community, I think, in other ways that you can't do. So, but it's been incredibly fun working with you guys. I know last couple of years, it's been kind of the CB show over here, so I've kind of, backed off a little bit other than kind of the higher end planning stuff, but it's an exceptional 8+ years with the city. It's a different place than it was in 2013 when I joined you all here. And I really appreciate everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You will be missed
Yes,
big
indeed.
time.
So this will be our last meeting with you. If we
I
can't
guess it
in
will.
November.
Mhm. I know. I thought we had you for another meeting.
Yeah.
I forgot the balloons. I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
Not going far.
Got snacks in my desk, but I don't have any.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your new job.
So same job essentially with the city of Shoreview, which is off the North Metro there, North Metro. They're 27,000 people, about 12 square miles, just a little different. They're pretty much built out with some redevelopment, but another community that really prides itself on parks and trails and amenities. They have a beautiful community center there. So No, it's one of those things where, 15 years from now, a lot of Park Road would maybe feel like that. So it's kind of it's been hard, I could see myself spending my whole career here as well. So it's one of those choices, what's the right move at the right time? And it just felt like this was a good opportunity. Manager there has been there for 28 years, is retiring. So I was, 11 when he started working there. So the next opportunity might not come along.
Oh,
True.
boy.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Okay. So the liaison calendar, does that work for everyone?
And note that the ones with the asterisks, they're not Thursday meetings because of holidays.
Right.
And the last two are in another year.
Oh, yep, and the
It's
year's
okay.
wrong.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We're gonna redo 2021 apparently.
I figured it deserved a second chance.
Well, I feel bad. The last one I was supposed to be at in September, I totally forgot. And so I was not there and I apologize. I remember at 8 o'clock. I'm like, so I'm sorry.
You'll
I
get
just-
to go
I-
double.
I just have one more comment. I'm the watershed assistant, second person. Ken Gunther is doing watershed. That guy is incredible at the watershed. We have a monthly pre-meeting on the Monday before the meeting, and he is on top of the finances. He has worked with the staff person in a whole nother world. And he's the financial guy now for the watershed, has been for some time. And they are just, he is holding their feet to the fire. It is wonderful to see him just really apply all of his skills at that particular job. It's just a tremendous gift to the whole region. Because if the watershed commission is not doing well, nothing moves. I mean, because they need to approve just all sorts of stuff. And it's complicated, and they need to do it right because they don't get to do it over. But he is just, it's just really quite marvelous to see him, watch him in action. It's really good stuff. Yeah. And he likes it. I mean, that's even better,
Mhm.
Just maybe to add on that, Madam Chair, if that's okay. I mean, when I started working here and I attended a few of the watershed meetings, I'd walk away just incredibly frustrated. There's great people there, but it didn't function really well, and it wasn't exceptionally transparent. And and when Ken took it on, he just took it on. I mean, this is really his move. It wasn't staff saying you have to do this or anything. It was Ken moving forward. And to Tom's point, the level of transparency and professionalism is just night and day from when it was just years ago.
Mhm.
And it hasn't been easy.
No.
So he makes nothing like you all do it. So
Right. Well, that's great. All right.
Did you see
Would
that?
anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I was gonna say, did you guys see that on Lake Jubert? No, that new,
That spring in it? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you guys?
what is this?
it's
Lake
on Lake
Jubert has
Jubert. There's a,
this-
well, it is spring fed always. It's always been.
But
But
It's
it's
crazy.
really more active now, especially with the lower water.
What's natural?
Yeah.
Wow.
you
Here.
should do- or we can adjourn the meeting
Yeah,
and
I'll
look
check it
at it.
out.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Really?
Yeah, they put it on that, maybe
Yes.
next door or something like that.
What's happening in Corcoran,
Right.
That's.
Yep.
fun.
but it should be brought aware. When
I'd like
you
to
were
move to
saying
adjourn.
watershed, I thought.
Okay.
uh-oh,
Is there a
water.
second to adjourn?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah,
Okay.
put it up for them to
Meeting
look
is
at.
adjourned.
That
We'll look at that spring.